is John. I'm the Geothermal TSA here at Cork and Steel. Today's tech tip, we're going to go over ClimateMaster's new service tool. This is the new wireless service tool that ClimateMaster has come out with. It is necessary on all of their new equipment with the 454B refrigerant. With this service tool, you will get two different cables, both of them plugging into the top here on the service tool. This one allows you to plug directly into the front of the unit without having to remove any doors. This cord can plug into the RDS board and also into the communication slot on the CXM and DXM board. It will also come with instructions as well in how to connect this to the internet and how to use this service tool. First thing that with this service tool is it is going to create its own Wi-Fi signal. So as soon as you power this up, it is going to create its own Wi-Fi signal, and then you just have to connect your smartphone, laptop, tablet to that Wi-Fi signal. And then once you do that, you will go to like a Google Chrome or Safari and type in service_tool.local. Which is behind me. It is also included in the instructions here as well.
All right, so the first thing that you'll need to do, I'm doing this on a laptop, but again, this can be done from any smartphone or tablet out there. But first thing you'll look for is the Wi-Fi network. This Wi-Fi network does pop up on the back of the service tool as well. So if you forget it, it is on the back, including the password as well in order to connect to this Wi-Fi network. So basically, you'll look for this WST-FFFF. You'll hit connect, and for the first time that you connect to it, it's going to ask for the password, which every service tool is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for that password. Okay. So once we get connected, do keep in mind that once you are connected, right here next to where it's showing your network, it is going to say no internet connection. That is normal. Just keep in mind that your regular Internet Explorer like Google or any type of internet is not going to work. This is only going to allow the service tool to work. So there's no apps that you need to download. It's all done through Internet Explorer. What you'll want to do is open up any internet browser at that point. How do I get down here? Can I? Here we go. And I need to bring one of these up to this screen. All right, so once you get your browser of choice open, you'll go to the top, and if you're using a laptop, you will need to enter in the IP address that's on the back here. This is all the same for their service tools. And the first time you do it, you'll have to type the full number out. But after you set this up the first time, you will just have to enter in the first couple of numbers, and then it will just automatically populate. So here is the new service tool. There's a lot in here which I'm not going to go over today. I'm going to go over just the basic stuff that is necessary for you guys to do tune-ups, to do setup during installs. But the very first option here is your settings. In here you'll get your unit configuration, your blower configuration, loop configuration, option configuration, and your RDS system. So first screen we'll go over is the unit configuration. Once it loads. Okay, so now that this screen is populated, the first option here is going to be the heat pump family. So with all the new 454B stuff, it is going to be just the first two letters of that model number. The only time you'll have more than two here is if you have one of the old 410A split systems, which will then populate as a TES system. Okay, so if you click that, all their model numbers will pop up in here, and you just need to select which unit you are working on. Once you get the heat pump family set, then you need the heat pump size. So again, this is just the tonnage of the unit that you're working on. This allows your blower to run at these particular speeds that you need for the tonnage that you have. The next option is blower type. You'll have no blower or constant volume. If you have a package unit with an ECM motor, you will always select this constant volume EC communicating. If you have a split system in the compressor section, this is the only time you would set this to no blower. All right, and then the next option on here is your loop configuration. So here you can select if you have a variable speed loop pump, if you have like a modulating water valve, or if you have ClimaDry. You also have two different variable speed loop pumps. So if you are using multiple units sharing the same loop, here's where you set your pumping option to parallel. In the past, this used to be on a different screen, but now they are included in here on the loop configuration option. All right, next screen we're going to go over is our blower configuration. All right, so on this screen is where you can go through and set up all of the airflow settings that you need. Usually default settings are good on these units. I usually don't mess with these too much, but every home is different. Now, keep in mind with this, if you hit just the minus, it is going to go down in 25 increments or up in 25 CFM increments. Every time you do that, you will have to let it reset itself and load. All right, so the easiest way to do this is just to select the actual airflow here, and here you can go in and change your CFMs. And then once you get it set to the right amount or the amount that you're looking for, you just hit save and it will automatically update it. Okay, all right, so the next screen that we're going to go over is our refrigeration detection system. This is where you go through and set up how many boards and how many sensors you have. So like for example, on a traditional package unit, we're going to have 2 sensors and 1 board. If you have a split system, you're going to have 2 sensors and 2 boards. So you need to make sure you set these up for whatever you have. Now typically this is set up from the factory, but you know, human error can come into play. So we just want to make sure that if we are getting any RDS faults, that this is probably your issue, is it's not set up properly here. Anytime you make an adjustment to this, so if I go through and I set up my number of expected sensors and I change this, always make sure to hit this send reset command. That way it will update your board and let your board know exactly how many sensors and boards you have, okay? The next screen we're going to go over is our diagnostic screen. So on our diagnostic screen, you can go through and you can look at a lot of different options here. I will let you guys go through once you're out in the field and mess with all of these. But the one that I want to go over the most here is this refrigeration detection system. All right. So on this screen, you can check to make sure that the number of expected RDS control boards and sensors match up to how many it's actually discovering. So from here, you can determine if one of your boards aren't communicating or if one of your sensors aren't communicating. All right. So the next screen I'm going to go over is going to be the fault history screen. So here you can look at the last 5 faults. If I go into just fault history number 1, on this screen, it will give you, again, your most current fault that you had with the unit. The very top is going to give you the fault code and a description of what happened. It will also give you like the operation mode, so if it was in cooling or heating or if it was just in standby, will pop up here. Again, you can get all your LT1, LT2 temperatures, entering, leaving water temperatures. You can look at what your ECM target airflow was in the actual RPMs. You can see exactly what your pump was doing at the time that it faulted as well. The next screen that we're going to go over is our system flow. So here I like to use this a lot when I am doing my diagnostics because you can watch everything in real time here. So on this screen, we'll basically give you all of your sensors, show you exactly what your pump is doing, your leaving water temperature, entering water temperature, LT1 and LT2. This is a great screen that I like to use during diagnostics because I can watch everything in real time. Then the last screen that we'll go over is our manual operation screen. Again, this is the screen that we would use just to test run the system. So we can run this unit in first stage heating, first stage cooling, second stage, whatever you want to do. Now to use this, you will first need to activate field test mode. When you do this, your board is going to start making a bunch of clicking noises and the lights are going to start flashing. It basically just shows you whatever the last fault in its history was, and that's what that clicking noise will be. That will be the last fault in its history. So from here, we can set our blower up to a certain speed so we can run just the blower without anything else running to test our blower. We can also do the same thing with the pump. We can set our pump all the way up to 100% if we want to, and just test our pump to make sure that the pump is running. Then we can go here and energize our Y1, Y2, energize O for cooling, and then energize our heat kit as well.
All right, so that wraps up with this video. If you guys have any questions on the new wireless service tool, feel free to reach out to me and we'll see you on the next one.